it's Vandiozo, back at it again with another Card Fight Vanguard deck profile. So if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and join to the Patreon. Let's get this one started. Today we are doing Orfist, Brandt post set 2 deck profile. So this one is the Shadow Army token build slash, I guess, world order type of thing from Brandt, where you just spam out a bunch of Shadow Army tokens, you hit them with big numbers, and in set 2 they introduce using Shadow Army tokens as resources for countercharging, drawing cards, retiring opponents' rear guards, etc. So let's go ahead and get this started and see what set 2 looks like for us. First up as our starter, we have Cardinal Fang Phovi, 6k base, 5k shield, grade 0 with boost. Auto when it's wrote upon. If you win second, you get to draw a card. Standard starter, nothing important, but it's basically introducing the Cardinal line for our deck. Next up, we have one copy of our Overtrigger, Star Dragon Deity of Infinitude, Eldo Breath. Grade 0, boost, 50,000 shield, 5k power, Overtrigger with 1 million thing. Overtrigger, you may only have one Overtrigger in your deck. When revealed as a trigger, remove that card, draw a card, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 1 million for the turn. If you revealed it during your drive check, you activate an additional effect. The additional effect for this card is double the power and critical of all your front row units until end of turn. So increase to double its power and critical when activated. So that's pretty helpful. You know, just swing for big numbers. Tokens already swing for 30 without Persona Ride. Presumably you did Persona Ride, so it's 40. One token in the front row would immediately go to 50 because its base is 15,000 power. And the Vanguard goes to big numbers. And if you drive check a crit before this, that's triple critical, actually quadruple critical on whenever got it. So Overtrigger, really helpful, forces out big numbers. And if your opponent doesn't have a PG prepared, they are beyond dead. So really nice. Other trigger wise, we have 3 draw triggers in Cardinal Fang Fulgrus, 5k shield, grade 0 boost, 5k power, nothing special besides it's a draw trigger. 4 copies of Cardinal Draco Enpyro, 4k power, 15k shield, grade 0 with boost, front trigger, and it has a skill, Continuous Guard. If your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, it gets plus 5k shield. So in exchange for like the 1k extra power that other triggers have in the 5k base, this has 4k base instead, but has a 20k shield if they're a grade 3 or greater. So really helpful card to have. 4 copies. Also it allows for hitting for bigger numbers in front row. And then 4 copies of the crit, Cardinal Draco Barbizonde. Probably said that wrong. 15k base, grade 0 boost, critical trigger. Nothing important about it, but it does look cool. And Cardinal Prima Nabilem, 5k power, 15k shield, heal trigger, grade 0 with boost. Also nothing important about it, but it looks decently okay. On to the main deck. 4 copies of Violate Dragon, 6k base, no shield, grade 1 with boost. Sentinel, you may only have up to 4 Sentinels in the deck. Auto, when it's put on guard, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit till end of battle. If your opponent has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So, cool. Straight up nullify. And you don't have to have hand cards to use this, because if it's the only card in your hand, you can still use it for free. Or if you have one other hand card, you can still use it for free as long as you only have 2 hand cards max, and this being one of them. So really helpful card to have, 4 copies. Because it also stops overtriggers as well. Next up, we have the first card in the deck that actually represents Shadow Token using as resources. Cardinal Prima Ecolpa at 4. 5k power, grade 1 with boost, AK base, auto rear when it attacks or boost. If your world is Abyssal Dark Knight, retire a Shadow Army token and countercharge one. So that's really good. The deck doesn't use up as, well actually, it uses up a good amount of counterblast. So being able to just sack your tokens, which you call through your counterblast anyways, and get a countercharge out of it is still pretty good. You only have, like, if you're using only Orfist, it's not going to matter that much with the counterblast. But A, you can get rid of your rear guards, prevent your opponent from killing them yourself, and get a bonus out of it. So I really like this card. 4 copies. Countercharge is amazing. Next up, we have 4 copies of Cardinal Noid Thumborino. 8k base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost, auto rear when this unit boosts a Shadow Army token. You may have that unit. This unit, gain plus 15 power till end of turn, and if you do, at the end of that battle, retire all your rear guards in the same column as this unit and draw a card. So this and the Shadow Army token will die, but you get to draw a card out of it, and it's an attack swinging for 38k without Persona Ride. With Persona Ride, 48. And if you got an Overtrigger, a hell of a lot more if you give that Overtrigger to that column. Either way, this thing's really good. Hits for bigger numbers, and you can retire your stuff to get a draw out of it, so you're not really losing anything. Really helpful card, 4 copies. And then we have 1 copy of our card in the Ride deck, Cardinal Noid Routis, AK base, 5k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto, when it's placed on Van, search your deck for up to 1 world card, reveal it, put it to hand, and shuffle your deck. Continuous rear during the battle that it boosted or attacked. If your world is a Dark Knight or a Abyssal Dark Knight, it gets plus 2k power. So nothing special about it. You mainly run it because, one, it's a part of the ride deck, and two, it allows you to search your deck for any world, and since your deck needs 2 worlds to get into Abyssal Dark Knight, that's a guaranteed 1, so all you need to do is just draw the other. And it's not really in the main deck at any number of copies because it's only a 10k booster or swinger. This becomes a 23k booster. This becomes a countercharger, and everything else is far more important than this. So Routis only gets to be at 1 in the ride deck, but hey, he's still cool though, so 1 of. Next up, we're on grade 2s. 3 copies of Cardinal Fang Marisam, SM, that's how I try to say that. 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto, when it's placed on rear, look at top 3, choose up to 1 world card from among them, reveal it, put it to your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. So that's really helpful. You get to just search the top 3 for a world card, and regardless if you get one or not, you get to stack the bottom. So if the game drags on long enough, you could technically stack your triggers, while also just kind of guaranteeing the chance of you seeing your world into getting to Abyssal Dark Knight. It's a really helpful card to have, and you get to do it for free, which is all around just nice, and if you have multiple, you can do it multiple times a turn. So all around helpful card, 3 of. Next up, 4 copies of Cardinal Draco Alviderd. 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Continues rear during your turn. If your world is Dark Knight, this unit gets plus 2k power, and if it's Abyssal Dark Knight, instead, it gets plus 5. So either a 12k swinger or 15k swinger, regardless, as long as you have a world open, which is always guaranteed to happen once you hit grade 2, aka when you get this guy. And then auto rear, at the end of the battle that this attacked, retire a Shadow Army token, and choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So you kill your 15k rear guard, and they kill one of their rear guards, but you get to pick, which is really nice. So if you're in Abyssal Dark Knight, which you kind of need to be more or less to get a Shadow Army token, 15 plus 15, that's 30k swing right there. And even if you're not in Abyssal Dark Knight and you just happen to have Eclipsing Moonlight on your board, it's a 27k column. Either way, still helpful, and you're killing a rear guard out of it. So all around, nice card. 4 copies. Also, his art looks really cool. And 1 copy of our last grade 2 and our only grade, and the card that's only in the right deck, Cardinal Noid Cubisia. 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto Vanguard. When a world is put into your order zone, choose one of your units and it gets plus 5k power till end of turn. So Vanguard restrictive skill, pretty much you ride this, you maybe want to call Alviderd or the snake thing, you activate your world that you got from Routis, and you give one of your units plus 5, and boom, easy pickings. My only problem with this is actually I don't have a problem with this. I guess it's just mainly because you can only activate 1 order per turn, but that's not going to change anything about this guy. Either way, he's still helpful for setting that up. And then the other skill, which doesn't really matter because not going to call him to rear because you can't, continues rear during your turn if your world is Abyssal Dark Knight. This card gets plus 5k power. So basically Alviderd, but at least Alviderd gets to kill a rear guard. This kind of doesn't, and Alviderd gets power regardless of what world you're in. So if you did break and you can't find another world, at least he's at 12k as long as you're in regular Dark Knight. So Cubisia is just a 1 of in the ride deck because he does do something on Van, which is the only thing he can do, and then in main deck he gets replaced by Alviderd. So 1 of. And now into our grade 3s and our last actual unit card, unless you count the Shadow Army tokens. 4 copies of grade 3 Cardinal Deus Orfist, our main grade 3, otherwise known as God of Machinery Coffin, is what I believe his kanji roughly translates to the person who told me that. If you see this, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, grade 3 Twin Drive Persona Ride, 13k base, continuous Van or rear. During your turn, if your world is Dark Knight or Abyssal Dark Knight, this unit gets plus 5k power. So regardless of what world you're in, it's an 18k swinger. And Act Van, if your world is Dark Knight, Abyssal Dark Knight, counterblast 2 and call up to 3 Shadow Army tokens to rear. Your world changes when you play a specific order. Shadow Army tokens have 15k power and boost. So, pretty good. You're calling down up to 3 rear guards, you don't have to call 3, and it's not once per turn. So if you wanted to, you could pay 4 counterblasts and just call out a whole field of Shadow Army tokens. I don't recommend doing that because, back at set 1, maybe you wanted to just to, get the advantage really quickly, but here when Shadow Army tokens count as resources and you kind of need other rear guards besides them to activate those resources, I would not recommend doing that unless you're really trying to rush them because you see something big in their hand and you're trying to make them waste PGs for later, or something dangerous about to come down, so you're trying to get them to get rid of it. Otherwise, Orfist is pretty good, and he's just maybe the descendant of Chaos, or maybe a slightly bad knockoff of Chaos. Either way, still a really good card. I like him. He can help with field spamming and can get a lot of powerful units out. Next up, we have our orders. First up, we have 4 copies of Eclipsed Moonlight, grade 2 order. It looks really cool, by the way. Kind of looks like a foil, honestly. I know every card has the possibility to be foil, but like the way Bushiroad revealed it, I feel like it actually does look like foil. It looks really glossy. After a set order is played, it's put into your order zone. Play it by counterblasting 1. Auto, when it's placed into your order zone, call a Shadow Army token to the rear. And a Shadow Army token has 15k power and boost. So counterblast 1 basically to get a Shadow Army token for free, basically. So that's cool. And continuous order zone. If your order zone only has world cards, the following effects are active according to the number of cards in your order zone. 1 card, your world becomes Dark Knight. 2 or more cards, your world becomes Abyssal Dark Knight. So, pretty good. Just immediately sets you up for all of your abilities that require Abyssal Dark Knight. I mean, regardless, if you have a world in your order zone, you get a Dark Knight regardless. But then if you have 2 or more, you'll get the Abyssal Dark Knight, which activates most of your abilities. And getting a Shadow Army token really is helpful just for rushing, and you can combo with Alviderd really early on. So even if you're just in regular Dark Knight, it's still a 27k swing with a kill of a rear guard. It's a really nice card, 4 copies. Next up, we have Howling Moonlit Knight. Grade 2 order. After a set order is played, put into your order zone. Play it by Soul Blasting 1. Auto, when it's put into your order zone, draw a card. So really nice. If they make a card that just makes it so that you don't have to pay your order cost, then technically you can do all these effects for free, because you have to put them into the order zone, you have to pay the cost. But their extra effects like the draw card and call Shadow Army token doesn't cost anything. So they make a card that just says you don't have to pay the pay cost of order cards for the turn. Then that just makes it so that you get the free benefits. And it has the same ability as the other one, where if you have 1 or more card in your order zone, your world becomes Dark Knight, and if you have 2 or more cards, it becomes Abyssal Dark Knight, but only if your order zone only has world cards. Either way, really helpful card. Free draw, free token, really nice. 4 copies of each, because they can just help you increase your chances of, being an Abyssal Dark Knight and activating most of your skills. And we've been talking about him for a while. The Shadow Army token, the thing we use for both resources and attacking. Grade 1, boost, 15k power. It represents a Shadow Army token and cannot be put into the main deck. But if you want to be like Zazaku from the anime, you could just, put it into your sleeve. Not just a card sleeve, but like your actual sleeve for some bizarre reason, and then not bring them out until after you call them, and then you get disqualified by a judge because cards have to be visible at all times. But because it's not a legal match, fuck it. So yeah, 50k swinger. If you call them multiple at the same time, really big column. With Orfist, you can get 3 of these bad boys. So really nice 15k swinger and booster. And that was the deck. So I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, subscribe to my second channel focused on Beyblade, and don't forget to go check out Thera. And I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up, you're Van.